What's up, you guys? We're back and we're live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As you are logging on, if you'd like to come work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. Welcome, you guys. As you are logging on tonight, say hello. Good evening. Good evening. If you're logging on Instagram, that's cool, but we will be screen sharing and everything over on YouTube. So feel free to go over to YouTube or even on Facebook. You can see the screen shares on Facebook too. I've got protein bar stuck in my tooth. I just ate real quick before I got on here. Welcome, guys. Say hello when you get on. And also, as you're getting logged on, we have our QR code here up in the corner for our free suit competition, perfect competition suit webinar. Basically, teach you how to create the perfect competition suit for yourself. So scan that. It is free. It is going on again on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go ahead and sign up, and that gets you in. It's also suitsandposing.com. You can go there and do that there. It's the same thing. Welcome, you guys. Hello, hello. Yes, say hi when you get on here. We always wait a few minutes to get everybody on, let everybody see the notifications, know that we're live, all of that before we start rolling into tonight's topic, which we are going to review the Houston championship show this past weekend, Tournament of Champions. Yeah, Houston Tournament of Champions. These long names for these shows, man. I get them all confused. Welcome, guys. I do have pictures on NBC News, and then I have some video that Kelby sent to me, which is pretty decent. You can actually see a little bit better on the video, the conditioning and things like that than you can in the pictures. So we're going to show that. So thank you, Kelby. Appreciate you sending that in. What's up? What's up? And we're going to kind of relate what we were talking about last week about the criteria with wellness to the results from the show, because I do think that it ties in together pretty well. So, yeah, so we'll get into that as we talk and everything. But also with that, so those of you that are here in Northern Virginia, I will be at the Warrior Classic this coming weekend. If you are doing hair and makeup with me, your schedules were sent out on Monday, so you have them. And then I will also be on commentary for the show itself. So they do have a live stream for the show. And I will be on the live commentary for the show. Yeah, anytime you're at a show, get me some comparison footage more than anything else. That's always helpful. You know, routines are one thing, but where the judging takes place really is during the comparison. So that's what I want to see more than anything else. And there were a few live feeds on Instagram of the show this past weekend, which was good. I was able to see it and kind of see what was taking place. And I will say that I agree with the judging and how it went, but I'm going to talk about how the criteria wasn't really there. It was close, but it wasn't really there. So that's what we're going to talk about and you can kind of see it in the photos, but you can definitely see it better with pictures. This is why, you know, I try to preface everything with, if you're not at the show, it's really hard to judge it because it looks totally different when it's in motion and you see it like that, versus sometimes these pictures just don't pick it up. Sometimes these pictures just don't show you exactly what the judges were seeing, right? So it's really, really hard to judge shows from photos. You know, I say that all the time. You know, anytime we do these wrap-ups and things like that, like I want to give you my 2 cents, but at the same time, if I wasn't there in person or if I didn't see video or really good video or whatever, then I can't really say like this is my opinion, but it could have been completely different in person. And that's kind of how I felt when I was looking at these photos for this particular show. I felt like the videos definitely showed a whole lot more of the story than the photos did. So hopefully we'll be able to see that. So first thing is, let me pull up. Well, my screen share is going to work. It's taking a minute. There we go. Let's pull up the photos real quick first. Okay, So again, going back to, there was only 7 girls in this show. So, what we were talking about last week was it's really hard to judge a show with according to criteria when you don't have a lot of competitors in it, right? You just have to choose between what shows up. And looking at the top 4 is what we're really going to talk about, because they were all the ones that were closest to the criteria. I felt like each one of them had strengths and each one of them had weaknesses. I'm going to point out those weaknesses through their photos, and then we're going to show, and their strengths too. And then we're going to show the video, and hopefully you'll be able to see that a little bit better. Now, again, we're just going to do the top 4 because that's what the first call out was. It was 4 girls in the first call out. So we're going to really just pay attention to those girls. And again, I think that each one of them had pieces of the criteria that fit, and each one of them had pieces of the criteria that didn't. So let's start with 4th place, which is Haley. Pro debut. We talked about her. I actually thought this was I think that this is a pro debut, right? Yeah. This is pro debut. So I thought this was a good package for her. Problem with the photos is we don't have a lot of really well posed shots. Like they're just in between motion. They're not completely posed. So again, we'll be able to see it a little bit better when we actually pull up the video and see what their poses actually look like. But I want you to be able to see them up close. So overall, I just felt like her conditioning was just a little bit off. She's just a little bit soft here. And she just has a little bit too much mass everywhere. So, wellness again is supposed to be bottom heavy, which I feel like she does. She is bottom heavy here, but I feel like she does have those shoulder caps, right? So it kind of makes her really balanced from top to bottom. Like if she came in a little bit tighter, I think it probably would have been a little bit better for her, but at the same time, that was going to make those shoulders pop a little bit more too. So maybe it would have worked. Probably wouldn't have done any better than she did as far as her placing is concerned. So overall, it was a really good package. She just, in my opinion, needed to be a little bit tighter here. But the real issue that as she moves forward is going to be balance. Let's pull up a back shot. Hopefully we have a fully posed one. I don't know if we do or not. Yes, we do. Okay, so again, here, when you look at the back shot, she just needs to be a little bit, just a touch tighter. I actually don't mind this level of conditioning. I actually like this level of conditioning, but in comparison to what they're rewarding and things like that, this is a little bit too soft, just a touch. She's got some great legs and glutes and things like that, but she also has quite a bit of back and shoulders too. So again, you always have to remember this is supposed to be a bottom heavy sport or division when it comes to the amount of mass that you actually have. I actually think she looks pretty decent on the bottom, but I also think she bent over quite a bit in her poses. She was the one that bent over the most, and again, you'll see that in the video, which doesn't help when you're the one that bends over the most, right? If everybody's doing it, then that helps everyone or that hurts everyone. But she was the only one that was doing it. And when you do that kind of thing, when you do bend over, it does flatten your glutes and things like that too. So I'm sure she was doing it to try to balance her body out a little bit better, kind of move her upper body away from the judges, that kind of thing. I understand that, but at the same time, I just don't think it was the right move. I think she could have stood up taller. And I think it would have flattered her frame a little bit better. Doesn't look like it much here, but you'll see it again when we pull the video. The video will show you a lot of these things that we don't see here in the photos. So the videos is pretty is going to be the key piece here. Again, going back to why you can't judge shows by photos, right? So let's go back. To 4th place, which was Alyssa. Again, pro debut. This is the one that I mentioned. She won the overall at USA's, and I really liked her shape. And I felt like what was going to be a hindrance to her is the fact that she does have capped shoulders. Again, she looked hard to get a fully posed picture here, but this is pretty close. And she absolutely has capped shoulders. If she had just this lower body here and not the lat flare and the shoulder and all this kind of stuff going on up here, I actually think that would be a better showing for wellness. Again, this isn't fully posed. You're going to see it when we get into the video again. Overall, I felt like her posing was a little bit shaky. And that could be just because, again, she's brand new pro. She's probably nervous, that kind of thing. But I just felt like her posing was a little bit off. I think her posing made a big difference. Now, when you look at her shape and her frame, you notice that her upper body is really short and her lower body is really long. So because of that, like the fact she's got this lat flare and everything like that going on, not the best look for wellness, right? If she was to take this frame and put it in a figure, coming a little bit tighter, she would be figure, right? So she's got to work on kind of making this more of a wellness frame as far as her posing is concerned, specifically like on these quarter turns more than anything else. Because again, you see those capped shoulders. I felt like that was one of the big things with her. She also, I think her conditioning was good, but I think that she lacked pop in her muscle. She's a little flat. And again, you'll see that in the video too when I pull that up. I actually liked her back shot as far as her balance is concerned. Let me pull that up. But when you look at this, again, the fact that she's got these really long legs, like most of her legs are calves, are from knees down, right? So this makes her look a little bit unbalanced because she's so long here. So short up top. Again, the glutes probably need to come up a little bit. The legs need to come up a little bit in order to make her more of a wellness frame. I liked her level of conditioning. I just didn't like her level of fullness. I think she needed to be fuller. I think she lacked some pop here. I think if she had some more pop, had a little bit more polish to the posing, she may have been in the fight for the win here. Honestly, she may have been in the fight for the win here. And I like her look a lot, but I just think these are things that she's going to have to tweak and work on as she moves forward. This is a pro debut. This is a great look for a pro debut. You know what I mean? But there's just lots of little things that if she fixes those little things, I think she's going to do a lot better. The look itself, as far as her suit and her hair and her makeup and all that kind of stuff, she looks beautiful. So she's got a really good look. And I do like that. Again, I go back to, I like the overall look, the overall aesthetic of what she brings to the stage. She just needs some minor tweaks, fullness to her body, and she's going to have to work with the posing and things like that in order to really get her frame to pop as a wellness frame, right? Let's see if we got any other decent shots of her. I don't know if we do or not. And here's a front pose. Yeah, this and she wore a new suit. No wardrobe malfunction. Yeah, that's good because the last show was a little bit scary. Yes. So here you can see what I was talking about with her upper body. See how much she's got up here. She's got a lat flare. She's got delts, all this kind of stuff. We don't need all that in wellness, right? She's going to have to pull all that down because it makes her look like she's figure up top. Because her legs just aren't strong enough to hold up against it. And again, I understand probably why she's posing this way too, because she's trying to make her waistline look smaller, which I do understand that. But it just makes her look figure versus making her look like she's wellness. So she's going to have to work on that part of it. But again, going back to, this is a good look, and I like this look, and I like her conditioning. She just needs fullness, and she should work on those posing tweaks and things like that, right? Let's go back. Okay, so Jennifer Scarborough Zolaris. So she took second. She's another one. Let me see if I can find. She's at the back of the box. Let me see if I can find her up at the front where we got some light on her. Here we go. So she's another one. Same thing. Has a lot of upper body. Right? I know she's posing it down, which is what she needs to do. She needs to pose that down. But look at that vascularity and the bicep and all this kind of stuff. Those are the kinds of things we don't want in wellness, right? She very much could switch over to figure. And I think she did compete in figure, right? I think she did compete in figure. This look, as far as her suit color, is much, much better. She's gaping right here in the suit. That's not good. You definitely don't want to have a wardrobe malfunction like that. So got to be careful with that, especially with wellness. They really hike those hip straps up quite a bit. And so that makes that gape if it doesn't fit you properly. You don't have that V in the front. So careful with that. I do think this is a better look for her because she wore that dark suit before, which I think made her look even more conditioned. I do think she's over conditioned. And I do think that her upper body, again, is too big for this division. With that said, she, again, posed it down a little bit as opposed to the other girls posing it up. So that did help her. But this is the same critiques that we've given to her before, that she needs more mass on the lower body and less on the upper. And I do feel like she's over conditioned as well. So, I do think overall, this is an improved package for her. I think this is better than what she's put on stage before. But she's still got some things to tweak and some things to work on. Let's see if we can get a back shot of her. Nothing fully posed. Let's see. I mean, she's halfway there. She's not really in a full pose here, so we don't have any full pose shots. Sorry. So, but the issue here, again, she's just upper body. So, not enough glutes, enough legs, not enough glutes. And I feel like her conditioning, again, is just a little bit over the top. Again, this conditioning is better than what she had before, but still a little bit too much. Here. So I don't think we have any of those back shots that are fully posed. I think she's moving in all of them, even at the back of the stage. Let me see. Well, I guess she's posed here. Let's try this so you can see this. It's hard because we don't have the light back there. Okay. So you can see here, I mean, she's got decent legs, but her glutes aren't balanced with them. She needs some more glutes. Oops, sorry. She needs more glutes on there in order to make her look more wellness on the bottom. Again, if she went and just did some figure poses, she would probably be figure, right? For the record, I didn't shoot the show. I got you, Kelby. No worries. Again, better package, still needs some work. Still not quite the criteria that we're looking for. This is what I've been saying with everybody. Still not quite the criteria that we're looking for here for wellness, right? It's very close, but it's not there 100%. And this is the issue when you have these shows like this and you don't have anybody that really shows up looking the part, right? You're going to start having this kind of mixed bag. So Amanda Burnett's the one that won it, and we kind of knew that was going to happen. She was the front runner going in. She does have the wellness frame. She does have the fullness, the roundness, and she does to her lower body, and she does have the right conditioning, all of that. I always have an issue with her in her waistline. I always see distension in her waistline. If it weren't for that, I think she would be very, very good, right? Now, she did win this show. Don't get me wrong. So, I think that was the right call. I think she should have won this show, all of that. But I'd really like to know why we always have this distension in the lower abs. It could just be that her body's tired. I mean, she's competed a lot. Maybe she'll take a break now until Olympia. If I was her, that's probably what I would do. I do like this look on her. I like the purple, all of that. I think it popped on her, everything. So, I do think this was the right call when it comes to who won the show. But there's just some little things that I'd like to see improve on her, to see her package get a little bit better. Let's see if we can find a good back shot for her. Here we go. So, she has really good balance from the back. And again, looking at this photo, you would think she's a little washed out through here. She's not. It's just the photo itself. I actually think this is a pretty good back pose for wellness. I think she's got the right amount of muscle. I think she's got the right amount of fullness, the right amount of conditioning, all of those things. So this is what we're looking for wellness. You know what I mean? We're looking for this as a back shot. Now she's got some upper body, but she's clearly like lower body dominant. She's clearly lower body dominant, which is what wellness is supposed to be. So I'm not saying you can't have upper body when you're in wellness. You just have to be lower body dominant, right? There's a difference. There's a difference that we've got to make sure that that bottom half is what we're looking at, right? That bottom half is what we're looking at. So I think she did a good job here. I do think this was a good package for her. I don't think this was going to go to anybody else. I think that she should have won this. But I just like to see a few little tweaks on her, like her midsection and things like that happen in order for her to do better when it comes to Olympia time. So let's take a look at the video real quick. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so here's the video. I'm just going to play it a little bit. I'll probably pause it for a second. Okay, so, I mean, clearly you can see here that Amanda's got the wellness frame on the bottom, all of that. Now, she's a little bit washed out through the abs, but so is everybody else too. I mean, a little bit washed out here, a little bit washed out here. You can see how having this short torso is actually really hurting this frame. So again, I go back to, I understand why she came and she did this lat spread and all this kind of stuff. It's just like six in one hand, half dozen in the other. It just makes her look too wide up here, but it doesn't really help with the waistline. Not really. So I get it. I think it's just posing tweaks. I think she needs to twist a little bit more, pop those quads out a little bit more, that kind of thing, and just really work with that posing. But it's even just stopping it right here, you can clearly see that Amanda has the best frame here. Let's take a look as it goes through. So watch the posing here and how they move through this and how they settle into these poses. So again, going back to, if you notice, Alyssa here was the last one to settle into her pose, and she's still not really there. She's looking down at her feet right now. So she needs to clean up the posing quite a bit. But notice she's really bent over here. That was what I mentioned with her. And when you look at these two here, you see that she's clearly got the best balance here. She needs more glutes. She's got legs, but she needs more glutes. We're flat here. You see how she doesn't have that pop that the other girls have. And again, she's just bent over too far. I'm sure she bent over like that because she wanted to show conditioning and wanted to show her hamstrings and all of that. I understand that part, but it actually flattened her out a little bit as well. So she needs to stand up in that pose. All right, so again, we got wide lat spread here, right? Really, really wide. You can see clearly that she's downplaying her upper body. This pose isn't quite right, but she's still not pulling that way out. She's downplaying it. She's just opening it up, right? She looks like a bigger version of bikini right here. She got that big old cap on the top, right? So that's a posing thing. Okay. And notice the speed. Okay, notice the speed of the transition. She's still not fully posed. Everybody else is in their poses. She's still not in her pose. Speed of how you transition and how you move through your comparisons and your poses makes a big difference. Because what happens is I'm looking right straight at her because she's not posed and everybody else is, right? My eye kept going over her, and that's not a good thing, right? That's not a good thing because you're still moving. You're not fully set. Everybody else is fully set. So remember, when you're practicing, make sure that you're practicing your speed when you're doing your routine, when you're doing your comparisons, when you're next to everybody else. You need to practice your speed, right? And they're going to walk a little bit before this ends. Now, I will say that these girls walked to the back. Every one of them walked to the back a whole lot better than what I saw the bikini girls do at Border Clash. So, y'all fix the walks to the back, bikini girls. Learn from the wellness girls with this walk. You can see clearly here as they're walking, notice Amanda's glutes are still really prominent, really popping. We lose glutes here, we're losing, that kind of thing. So that's really where that makes a difference when we're talking about the walk to the back. Right? That whole time through there, Amanda didn't lose her pop on her glutes at all, right? Everybody else did. Everybody else did. So when you're looking at things for posing, you're trying to understand what the judges are seeing. Those are the kinds of things that they're looking for. They're looking for the glutes to drop. They're looking for you to lose that pop. You know, you see it look great when you're actually posed and fully posed and all that kind of stuff. But when you're moving, if you completely lose it, you have, you know, sagging skin, you got no more pop to your glutes, whatever it may be, that's where you end up losing the show. So, you know, going back to, I think that this was the right call across the board. But I do think that each one of these girls has things to work on, which is normal. Everybody has things to work on as we go and move through the shows and things like that. So, you know, I just want to see, more competition show up for these wellness girls. I want to see more. I just want to see more options. I want to see somebody clearly hit the criteria, and I want to see more than one person clearly hit the criteria, right? Because until you do that, you're going to have a mixed bag of what shows up the next time, right? It's not going to make sense why people place one way, some people place another way. Like, I could have taken the 2 through 4 girls and I could have put them in any other position, and I think that it would have been okay. I think it would have been fair. You know what I mean? Like, Amanda definitely deserved to win that. I agree with that. I'll take that. But you take 2 through 4 and you really could have flipped them. And I don't think anybody would have complained about it, right? So we want to see clear criteria. And it's just the main reason why I want to see this for wellness is because it's so new and we still don't have a really clear picture yet of what it should look like. And I also wish I could see, you know, these girls like that don't have as much muscle come in just as conditioned as they need to be, come in with the fullness, the roundness, come in with those presentation details, you know, on point, like the posing and things like that. And I think we could see some of these newer girls really move up and start winning shows. You know what I mean? Like, I think that could happen. So your 2 cents, you guys. This was a small show. You know, any questions that you have looking at these photos, any questions that you have after looking at the video? What do you think about the results? What do you think about how the direction that wellness is going in? What are your thoughts? Give me your 2 cents. This is your opportunity to kind of put it in there and say what you think. And we do have shows coming up this coming weekend, so we will preview those for sure. I think the pro lists all came out today. I think I saw them come out. Pro lists usually come out on Monday or Tuesday, so I think they came out today. No questions? No comments? Y'all just agree with me? You can't agree with everything I say. Gotta have some like opinions here, right? What do you guys think? I'm gonna leave it open for another minute or two. See if we see anybody chime in. I know it's hard because basically, I know, right? I know it's hard because this is it's a new division, but it's not. It's been around for 3 years. It's not like it's brand new. You know what I mean? It's been around, but you know, we just haven't. I just don't think we've hit the mark yet. So, with a lack of participation in wellness, do you think it will affect the division? Absolutely, 100% will. Yes. If people aren't showing up, the promoters aren't gonna have it anymore. I mean, a great example, Warrior Classic coming up this weekend, NPC show. Last year, they had Pro Wellness. They had 6 people show up. Guess what they don't have this year? Pro Wellness. It costs the promoters money to put these sanctions in, and if competitors don't show up, the promoters are not going to keep spending the money. Bottom line. Number 2, looking more figure threw me off, especially with the rods on the hamstrings and figure conditioning. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like, again, I could have taken 2, 3, and 4 and flipped them or switched them any way around, and it would have been okay for me. Like, her conditioning is too hard, 100%. Now, again, going back to, she's gotten better. She's gotten better, but her conditioning is just too much. And she is very balanced from top to bottom, which is not wellness. Wellness should be bottom heavy. So I also would like to see these girls that like get this kind of feedback go off stage and make the improvements before they come back. Because what happens is they come back on stage, they look a little bit better, and they're going to do a little bit better because there's not a lot of people showing up. So, I mean, it really blurs the criteria when that kind of thing happens, right? However, I do think they want to go with a softer, more achievable look. I think they do too. I think they do. So no, I didn't suit any of these wellness girls. None of them are my suits. Nope. So I do think that they want a more achievable look. And I think, you know, the fact is that going back to, Amanda was not the most conditioned girl on that stage. She was well conditioned, but she was not the most conditioned girl on stage. And the other top 3, like the 3 out of the 4, were not overly conditioned either, right? You know, I didn't even look at the other girls outside that top 4. Let me just, while we're sitting here, let me just look at what their conditioning looked at real quick. So I didn't see video of them, so I didn't want to misjudge them because I only saw photos. Oh, this is the girl that was, I think she was a pro debut too. Well, the last 3 just didn't really fit the criteria. Conditioning wasn't crazy on any of them, but they just didn't have the right shapes, the right muscle. None of them were overly conditioned. That wasn't an issue. So I can't really say that they're looking for a softer look because none of the girls there were over the top. So yeah, the bottom 3 girls, looking at them, they just didn't bring it. Just didn't bring the mark. Didn't hit the mark. So, you know, just didn't hit the mark. So one of the girls, I felt like she had a decent wellness shape, but she wasn't in shape. She was soft. She was too soft. There's definitely a line. There's definitely a line of being too soft. Another one of the girls is, you know, coming down from women's physique, just not the wellness shape, right? So, you know, when again, going back to, we need more competitors so we can get a better look at what the actual criteria is. If you don't have a lot of competitors on the stage, you can only judge what shows up. You can only judge what shows up, right? So that's the hard part. And then again, going back to, and this is something that I talk about with NPC shows all the time, because you see this sometimes in the NPC where no girl on the stage really fits the criteria well. So they got to pick somebody. You know, they got to put somebody in the winner's circle that's as close as they can get. They may be on one side on conditioning. They may be on the other side on muscularity. They may be on this side on posing, but they're the closest one. They're the closest one, right? So what do? You put the girl that's closest to the middle, but she doesn't mean she fits the criteria, but she's the closest one. She's the closest one, right? So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens going forward, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think the girls winning are the ones that should be winning. But I'd like to see some more people show up, and more people show up looking good too. You know, looking in shape and all those things, right? Anything else? Any other questions? Anything else you guys saw? As we're wrapping up here tonight, reminder, we have our webinar on picking the perfect competition suit. Here's a couple. Whoa, just showing them off. Here's a couple. So if you are in the market for a suit and you need to know how to get a good one for you, custom made right here, like these right here, hit that QR code right there. It's a free webinar. Okay. It's a free webinar. Come on the webinar. I'll teach you all the things you need to know, and it'll help you to make your decision on what you need for a suit. Okay. These are some of my beauties going out this week. Just a couple of them that are going out this week. 100% handmade from the ground up, from scratch. That's what I do. In case you were wondering. Webinar link is broken. It shouldn't be. Let me see. I'll put it in now. Check. I just tested it right before this. So let's see. Oh, suitsandposing.com. That's what it is. And that's what that QR code does. It works. So suitsandposing.com. I'll type it into the comment here for you. That's it right there. That's it right there. Can I pin it? Yep, I pinned it. There you go. That's what that QR code is right there, suitsandposing.com. It works. I just plugged it in. So real simple. It's a free sign up. Not sure why it's not showing up on your screen, Kelby. It's on mine. Everybody else see it? Everybody else see the link? I mean, I put the link in there anyway, but the QR code should be up. So I can check that too later. But I've got my... that's interesting. Wonder why. Let me see something real quick. I literally tested it right before this, so try that. See if the QR code works now. I mean, regardless, it's suitsandposing.com. I put it into the comment, so it's tagged, it's typed and pinned there, so you've got it. Try the QR code now, see if it works. I just removed it and put it back up. Oh, okay. That's weird. That's weird. Huh. I don't know why I did that. It was showing on my screen the whole time, so I don't know. I don't know what the issue is. Anyway, it's working. So there's your webinar. There's your webinar right there. Okay. I don't know. Technology, you guys. It's technology. It is what it is. At least it's working now. So if you ever need to go back to it when we get done with these webinars or get done with these live feeds, you can go back and rewatch it and scan it once we get done. But like I said, at suitsandposing.com, it takes you there too. One of those works. So it's a free webinar. Go ahead and sign up. We'll see you with that on Thursday. So with that, you guys, we'll wrap up for tonight. Hope you guys had a fantastic day so far. I've had a great week. And we'll be back again tomorrow night, 8:15, same place. And we'll have another topic. We'll probably preview shows tomorrow because I think we've got the pro list out for this weekend. So we'll do that tomorrow. And I'll see you guys at the Warrior Classic this coming weekend if you're coming. Or listen to me on the live stream. I'll be on the live stream too, doing commentary all day. So we'll see you on there. And with that, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to log off of Instagram first and then off of YouTube. Good night, you guys.